Hello, I'm Paige, and together we're diving into a powerful and transformative concept, inclusive education. Whether you're an educator, parent, policymaker, or simply passionate about equality, this topic affects us all, especially here in South Africa. In our classrooms, homes, and communities, we have so many wonderful and different learners, with each carrying their own story. So if we have such fantastically different people, why are we trying to fit them into the same boring box? In this video, we're focusing on cognitive and developmental barriers to learning in South African classrooms. These barriers affect how learners think, process information, develop skills, and engage with learning tasks. Cognitive and developmental barriers are not a sign of low intelligence or a lack of effort. There are differences in how the brain develops and works, and with the right support, learners can and do succeed. Cognitive and developmental barriers are obstacles to learning that relate to how a learner thinks, processes information, or develops skills over time. These barriers include intellectual disabilities, where learners may experience challenges with reading, problem solving, or understanding new concepts. They also include learning disorders such as dyslexia, which affects reading and spelling, and dyscalculia, which affects the understanding of numbers and mathematical concepts. Neurodevelopmental conditions also fall into this category. These include ADHD, which can affect attention, focus, organization, and impulse control, and Autism Spectrum Disorder, which may affect communication, social interaction, sensory processing, and flexible thinking. Learners with cognitive and developmental barriers often need adapted teaching strategies, extra time, structured support, and sometimes assistive technology. Not because they cannot learn, but because they learn differently. In South African classrooms, cognitive and developmental barriers are often made more challenging by systemic and contextual factors. Learners may struggle to keep up with lessons, follow instructions, stay focused, organize their work, or express what they know. Some may take longer to grasp new concepts, while others understand content but struggle with reading, writing, or completing tasks independently. These challenges are often intensified by overcrowded classrooms, limited access to specialized support services, and a shortage of adapted learning materials or assistive technologies. Many teachers have not received formal training on inclusive education, making it difficult to provide individualized support. As a result, learners with cognitive and developmental barriers may fall behind academically, lose confidence, or become labeled as lazy, disruptive, or unmotivated, when in reality, they need different forms of support to access learning. Inclusive education in South Africa requires recognizing these barriers early and responding with flexibility, understanding, and practical strategies that work within real classroom constraints. Cognitive and developmental barriers affect more than academic performances. When learners constantly struggle to keep up, they may feel frustrated, anxious, or embarrassed. Over time, this can impact self-esteem, behavior, and motivation. Some learners may withdraw, while others may act out as a way of coping with repeated failure. Inclusive education is not about lowering expectations. It's about removing barriers, so learners can show what they know and build skills at their own pace in ways that make sense to them. Now, let's focus on what teachers can do to support learners with cognitive and developmental barriers in practical, realistic ways. One of the most effective strategies is using clear, simple instructions. Instead of giving long explanations all at once, teachers can break tasks into smaller steps and present one step at a time. Checking for understanding before moving on helps ensure learners aren't left behind. Using visual aids makes learning more concrete. Pictures, diagrams, charts, storyboards, and real-life objects can support understanding across subjects. In mathematics, everyday items like bottle tops or beans can be used for counting and grouping. In reading, picture books and visual sequencing support comprehension. Allowing extra time is also essential. Learners with cognitive and developmental barriers often need more time to process information, complete tasks, or demonstrate understanding. Working at their own pace reduces pressure and builds confidence. Where available, assistive technology can be extremely helpful. Tools such as text-to-speech apps audiobooks, or simple educational software can support learners with reading or writing difficulties. Establishing clear routines and visual schedules help learners who benefit from structure, especially those with ADHD or autism. Visual timetables can be created using printed icons, drawings, or simple charts, helping learners know what to expect throughout the day. Peer support is another powerful strategy. Pairing learners with supportive classmates encourages collaboration, reduces isolation, and allows learners to learn from one another. Peer buddies can help with reading, staying on task, or organizing materials. It's also important to allow learners to show their learning in different ways. Drawing, speaking, acting out, building models, or using digital tools can be just as valid as written work. Flexible assignments recognize learners' strengths rather than focusing on only difficulties. Regular positive feedback helps build motivation and resilience. Celebrating small achievements encourages learners to keep trying and reinforces the message that progress matters. Finally, collaboration with parents, specialists, and community organizations strengthens support. Educational psychologists, speech therapists, occupational therapists, and support organizations all play a role in helping learners reach their full potential. Cognitive and developmental barriers are not limitations on a learner's potential. They are reminders that learning is not one size fits all. When teachers adapt instruction, provide structure, and create supportive classroom environments, learners with cognitive and developmental barriers can thrive. Inclusive education is not about doing everything perfectly. It's about being flexible, compassionate, and committed to ensuring that every learner has the opportunity to learn with dignity. Remember, belonging starts with us. Until next time, bye!